Hey, what's up, guys? This is Karina.
And I'm Pebbles.
And this is Divine Connections. Hey, guys, I hope you guys are having a very, very Merry Christmas.
Merry
It is the
Christmas.
holiday season, and today's episode will be sponsored by Belmonte Media.
Pebbles Tattoos and Soul Supply Company.
On today's episode, we do have a guest.
Hello, guys. I'm a photographer here in San Bernardino. My name is Jesus. Most people know me as Tutu. My business is 99 into 909. But I prefer you guys call me by Tutu, so we're more on a friendlier basis. I opened my photo studio here 3 years ago, and I grew up in San Bernardino, so basically all my customers are either familiar or they know me by Tutu, so you guys can call me.
Oh, cool. Are all your customers locals?
Yeah, for the most part, they're locals. I do
Local
go.
or locals?
Locals. We don't want to get into that one.
I didn't know we were gonna get that
Poco
deep into
loco.
it. Right, no.
Poco locos.
I can handle both. I get a little bit of both.
The loco locos.
Locas.
Oh,
Locas.
that's why we're here.
Yes,
The loco
exactly.
locas.
Yeah, so most of my customers are local. I have worked in LA a few times.
Oh,
I've
cool.
expanded myself out there. Next Friday, I'll be going to Artesia.
Oh,
I do want to work more out in different areas and expand myself. So that's why I like to do certain things like this, networking and collaborating with certain individuals that can get me out in the LA area, or even have to go to San Diego, Temecula, anywhere.
travel.
I want to be a traveling photographer. I do have a photo studio, but in studio photography is not my best. I don't think it's my best. I think my best work is always outside, and I want to do that. I want to go travel, go Chicago, New York, all those places, and also do more in fashion shows.
Ooh.
So
So before we get into your journey with photography, I just want to know like a little background history. Maybe you can start like where your parents are from.
my dad is from originally from Michoacan, Mexico.
Oh,
So he came here, I believe, maybe 1979. He's been here many years. My mom, she was born in Harbor City, South Bay, LA area. So her and my dad met. She was, I think, 13 years old. She had my sister at 16, me at 17, and my third sister at 19. So at 19, she had 3 kids.
Oh, wow.
And so yeah,
Push forward. When did you
Yeah.
guys come out here? And
okay. So my dad. Okay, so it is a little story, and I think it's okay to talk about that on here because
yeah.
we're gonna talk about raw and unfiltered stuff. So my dad went to jail in 1991.
Okay.
He went to prison for about a year and a half. And when he went to prison, my mom took on the leadership role in our household. So basically, when she took on the leadership role, she moved out here to San Bernardino. We lived with my aunt for like 2 weeks. And then we got our own apartment.
How old were you?
Actually, you know what? It didn't go down like that. I'm sorry. My dad got deported.
Okay.
My dad got deported. I was like in 2nd grade, so I was probably like 7 years old.
Oh, okay.
My mom got all our stuff and we moved to Tijuana for 6 months.
What?
Yeah, so we moved to Tijuana, and that's where I learned a little bit of my bilingual, learning how to read and all that. We struggled a little bit, but my dad actually, he helped us with that. My dad was more hands-on with trying to teach us because he knew that we were struggling in that aspect. My mom, since she was born out here, she's American. She's a Chicana. Since she's born out here, she didn't really finish school, so she wasn't really hands-on. She was more always working. And my dad, when he got deported, he sat there and taught us to read books, and he wanted us to have those traditions when we went to relatives to be able to communicate and speak Spanish, and so it benefited us.
I think Back in those days, it was very common for women to not finish school, right? Like, I think back in the days, speaking for myself and experience, my grandma didn't only went up to like 8th grade.
Yeah, my mom.
And
My mom
then
too.
my great grandma only went up to like 1st grade. My mom probably dropped out like at 8th, 9th grade.
I think
You
my
know,
mom said like the 2nd grade or
so
something.
I think that's very common. You know.
And they've been together. My sister's 41. So they've been together about 43, 44 years.
Oh wow.
And I mean, it's crazy to say that they lasted this long because everything that we've gone through. But I think that the old school and the more, like you said, like back in the old days, they hold like certain.
When something's broke, you fix it.
Yeah.
You know, now we're like, when something's broke, you throw it away, you get a new one.
Yeah.
You know, back in the days, it's like, nah, we hold on to this, we treasure this, we worked hard for this. So
You know
if it's
what?
broke, we fix it. You know.
And they're ride or die. And
Yeah.
and even if they're on bad terms, no one can come against them because they're still ride or die. No matter what, they're always gonna have each other's back. They could be fighting in one moment or having a little argument or dispute, and it's nothing to me, nothing to nobody else. And then the next moment they're chilling with the corn man outside. You know what I'm saying? Getting on elote. Hey, babe, you want some churros? You know,
That's
you
how it's
want
supposed to be.
elote,
Man.
or babe, you want a raspado? You know, so and it's just simple as that. You know, they could be arguing about something very dumb, and then how many tortillas do you want? You know, like so it's to me it's normal. I think when we go out into public, we see people act like that, and we're like, man, they're animals or they're ghetto or whatever. And I don't think you should act like that. I don't act like that out in public. But when I see my parents, to me, it's normal. And I just try to coach them not to act like that at the restaurant, or at Buffalo Wild Wings, or at Outback. You know, like,
Don't bring that shit out here.
Mom, you can't do that. Like, hey, don't say that. You know,
That's
like.
making me feel guilty. I'm like, my son's probably gonna be mad at me.
So honestly, I think my parents they were young when they.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that happens. Are you the oldest of your
I was just gonna
siblings?
ask, are you the baby?
My sister, she's the oldest. She's 41. I'm 40.
Okay.
We're actually 9 months apart. So my
okay.
mom had my
Back
sister.
to back.
Yeah. So as soon as my mom got pregnant, like 3 months after she had my sister.
Wow, yeah.
I know
So-
how that is.
So me and my sister, I turned 40 in April, and she was still 40 for a month and 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah. And my dad's just crazy like that.
So once your dad got deported, was that before he went to do time?
No, he did time out here first, and then he got deported. So when
Okay.
he got released, he got his everything revoked.
So
like
after
his
those-
citizenship revoked.
Oh. Wow.
He had a job. He used to get as a steel. He worked at a steel framing place where they made steel bars and all that.
Yeah.
And I think at the time in the 80s, he was making like $36.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah. And they were
That's
having
very-
parties every weekend. We would have, my mom and
That's a
dad
lot of money back
would
then.
have DJs and all that. But
A lot of people worked in the
he
steel
made
industry. in
he
those days.
made a huge mistake, and then he got locked up, and then we kind of just lost it all. And then my mom took over. My mom kind of like became like
So after you guys left to TJ for 6 months, what happened?
my mom went to school for a little bit, so my dad would take care of us, take us to school. He was like, my mom was like the worker,
In
and my dad.
Mexico?
Yeah, in
Oh,
Mexico,
okay.
in Tijuana.
Oh, so you went to school out there and everything?
Yeah,
Oh,
yep.
wow.
So
Did your mom like think she was gonna plan a life there with you guys and everything?
No, we just moved out there till we figured out how we were gonna get my dad back.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So we had a house, we rented a house and stuff, and we lived a normal life. But my mom was trying to figure out what are we gonna do about the situation, because we can't stay out here. Obviously, she was going to school in San Diego,
Oh,
so
that
she
was
would cross the
already planned.
border every day. My grandma lives in San Diego, so my mom would cross the border, and she has an uncle in Tijuana, so my mom's familiar with the area, and she's comfortable out there where we weren't comfortable. So for her, it was a easy transition, but for us, it was hard. So she would go to school every day. My dad would watch us, feed us, and then she'd come home every evening around 6 or 7 at night.
Dang.
And then one of my uncles, one of my uncles lived out here in San Bernardino, and he got so somebody killed him. They found him dead with strangled.
So your mom's brother?
Yeah, my mom's brother, her youngest brother, one of her youngest brothers, I believe. They found him with cord marks around his neck. Yeah, so he had like a little issue with his baby mama, and he was trying to get full custody of his daughter and stuff like that. And we kind of think it was related to that.
Oh.
So I don't know what the whole story is, but instantly my mom was like, I gotta go back.
Oh, that's what made you guys come back.
So my mom, we started staying with my aunt we stayed with my aunt for 2 weeks, and my dad, he did his little travel thing with the coyote, and he crossed the border, and he came back, and he hasn't gone back since. So my dad's technically not supposed to be here, but at the end of the day, like, my dad has paid his taxes. He has a house. He's brought up all his children. My mom doesn't work, technically. My mom technically doesn't work, so my dad has been the provider, and he's been the structure in our morals and the respect and the traditions and all that. We look up to my dad for that, because he's the one that was like very stern, whip your ass, like you couldn't get out of line. And it was traumatizing. Like, if I spoke back, he'd deck me in the back. Like, literally, one time I ran from him, and he grabbed me from the back of my pants. I was going up the stairs. He grabbed me from the back of my pants. He pulled me forward, and he just started sucking the shit out of me.
Oh my God.
So, like, my dad, he used to beat my mom like that too. When we were kids, we would run to the closet. Mom would hide us, and she'd be fighting them back. Like, she'd be out there. And I think my mom, she grew up young, so she didn't let herself, and she was kind of like a tomboy too.
Okay.
So her and him, they would squabble, and we would just see all that. And
was he a lot older than her?
He's 10 years older.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That, I think, in our culture, speaking for myself and us as his Mexican people, I think that that's very common in our culture too, and I think a lot of us don't speak about it because we tend to grow up thinking like this is normal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the normality of when you don't listen to your dad or your mom doesn't listen to your dad. These things happen.
But you know what? Honestly, I think it's good. Honestly, I know it's traumatizing,
Oh, you
and
mean
it's
like to discipline
detrimental
kids?
to your mental health. I know, I get all that, but like I think me and my sister, we bought houses at a young age. I went to college.
The structure helped you. The
the
discipline helped
discipline and the structure made me fear not to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble with the law. I saw my dad and my mom handcuffed. My mom used to fight when she was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? She used to jump in my dad's fights. My dad, when we moved to San Bernardino, we had issues where we lived in San Bernardino off of Sterling in Little Africa, and my dad would have issues with certain younger people, you know what I'm saying? And my dad's like, I'm not gonna take this shit, and we've had like a guy pull out a gun on him, and they try to jump him, and my mom jumps in, or just dumb, crazy stuff. And I think at this point, my dad has matured a lot, and my mom hasn't. My mom's still stuck in that mentality.
Oh, wow.
My mom is still like, I still go down to this day. You call me, I'm rolling up. You know what I'm saying?
As she should. Gang, gang. Mom gang.
So like I said, I think discipline it's detrimental to your mental health, right? So I think my mom, through everything that she's gone through, I think her mental health has deteriorated, and I see why she's like that. To me, my mom is like a child, and when I try to tell her or discipline her, it's offensive to her. But I'm just trying to not make her look as.
You want her to see her grow and improve.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just like how parents say things to kids that are for their best interest, I think that us as adults, children now, because we're still their children, whether we like it or not, I think as adults, we tend to forget.
Okay, so my mom basically, my mom's only like 15 years older than me, right? So we kind of grew up together, technically,
damn.
right? So
She doesn't like to be told. That's what I was trying
she
to get
doesn't
to.
want to be told.
Yeah.
And she's like the boss.
I think they look at it like we think we're better than them or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
But it's just we want better for them.
And you know what? She treats me like that. She treats me like I think I'm better, and I'm like, I'm not. I don't even think
You're
that.
just trying to redirect her.
I'm just trying to redirect her, and I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. I have my own, I have my own like secret life. I have my own secrets. I have things that I don't speak of publicly. I have relationships that I've been in that I don't speak to the public. I'm very, very, very public on my page, and people can assume and think that they know me, but they don't really know me. That's my character. That's who I am. That's who I want people to see me as. I want people to know that everything is with good intentions. I've come from abuse all my life, death all my life. So when I got into photography, I used that as motivation to get away from all that, to distract myself from alcohol, from abusiveness, all that.
Yeah.
When I come in here, I'm by myself and like in my own world. You know what I'm saying? It's art. You're creating something.
It's a positive way that you're
Yeah,
doing it,
and it's the only way that I figured out that I can cope with a lot of issues. So
Kind of like escaping the reality of, what your life was.
Yeah.
You know?
But you're doing it in a
And you get to
positive way.
create your own reality now.
and the thing about it is people think you're fake. So because you're creating your own reality and you're doing what you want to do, people are like, I don't know him like that.
Well, just because we're not like a wino in front of the liquor store because
Yeah.
that's what they thought we were gonna be because of the life path that we had, then
I'm gonna put in my
you
40
think
away.
you're better,
I know, right? No, but that's not the thing. It's not even like that. Like I'll have a drink here and there every once in a while. Like, but I got a DUI in 2019, and in order for me to pay for my DUI, I had to make an extra source of income. I wasn't gonna take away from my kids to pay for something that I did. So I opened my photo studio. I opened up a photo booth business first. I started my photo booth business in 2020.
How old were you?
Well, I'm 40. I'm old. So I was about 37. I was 37 when I opened my photo studio. Yeah, I was about 37, 36.
I don't know math, so.
Yeah. And so I started off with photo booths, and people would start asking me, do you do pictures too? I'm like, yeah, I can. But I started with my iPhone. I didn't have a camera. I had an old camera. I started with my iPhone, and I started taking people's pictures, and I was charging $40. $40.
How did it start though? How did you actually were you like, this is what I like?
When did you think about it?
Yeah.
Like, when did it cross your mind? Like, I'm gonna take pictures.
So there was one day in that March in 2020. Every time in March, for some reason, it's depressing because my sister committed suicide when she was 19. And I don't say the words a lot, committed suicide. I just say she left us. But I think that it's important for us to say it and for people to know it. I don't say it on my Instagram or anything like that. I think that kind of stuff gets filtered. But I want people to understand that suicide and mental health, they all correlate a lot. And when you don't have a support system or you don't have somebody that understands you and you're running away from something that you don't know what you're running away from, you're just like, you're lost in your head and you're a good person and you have good intentions and everything, but you're trying to escape something. What are you escaping? Are you escaping abuse, trauma? You don't trust somebody. There's a lot of reasons why, and I can get further into detail on why my sister left us, but then I would have to talk about who I'm going to kill next and who did this and who did that. And, I think a lot of things add up. And it's not just one thing.
Yeah.
But it all leads to a path. And my sister, we didn't see the path of destruction. Yeah, she was crazy. She was wild. But we never, ever, ever, that was one thing that we would never think that would happen. It was like a shocker because she was so very strong.
How old were you when this happened?
She was 19, I was 21.
Oh, she was younger than you.
Yeah, she's 2 years younger than me. But she raised me on the streets. So I got street smart because of my sister. I've been jumped a few times. We used to do what do they call there? What are they called? So we would go it's called the Heavens, and we would meet up, and we would have like crew fights. Rumbles. So we would go to Rumbles and stuff. And when it was my turn, it was my turn. She'd push me. She'd like, it's your turn, bro. Like,
How old were you?
shit, I've been fighting since like 7th grade. Yeah, but she taught me all that. She made me because I was a computer nerd. I was like a geek. I was in drama in 3rd grade.
Oh.
I played Daddy Warbucks from Annie, the bald guy,
Uh-huh.
in 5th grade. I always wanted to do. I wanted to always dress up and do different crazy
So
things.
when you guys came back from Mexico, how old were you?
I was in 3rd grade, so I was like 8.
So then after that, you guys pretty much had like a okay childhood. Like you still went to school and stuff.
So we went to school normally. But we lived in.
So everything was crazy. So you said your mom was like crazy. Your
So,
dad,
yeah.
they would fight, and you would see all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you guys lived in San Bernardino.
Yeah, we lived off of Sterling in a really bad area, and so my dad, he started off with collecting cans. So it's funny. It's a funny story because my dad is everybody's friend, my friends, my brother's friends. He knows everybody. So even in elementary school, when I was in elementary school, we would be at recess, and my dad's over here with a big old basket full of cans. And everybody's like, your dad, your dad, your dad. And some kids would make fun of me, but to me, that was my dad, and he was fucking providing.
Yeah.
But then, my mom took the leadership role, and she started doing her own hustle.
Did that ever get to you? Like when kids would make fun of you because your dad collect cans? Did it ever affect you? Like you would go home with these negative, feelings?
I did a little bit, and I think it was more at the moment.
What would you tell yourself in those moments that helped you overcome those feelings?
I would kind of just stay away from everybody. I kind of isolate myself, and I think that's why I've kind of isolated myself all my life.
Is that why you drifted off
Yeah.
to different things, like you said, like drama and all that?
Like you told yourself mentally right now, you had mentioned, you would tell yourself, hey, he's providing for me. So are those some things that you would say so you didn't feel like embarrassed?
I think as a kid, I just felt embarrassed, but like it made me want to cry. It made me want to cry because I'm like, dude, you guys don't even know my dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he makes a lot of money. Like, he makes a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So you guys don't understand that my dad, like, he's not just collecting cans. He's collecting, like, freaking
Money.
a day,
Yeah.
And, on the weekends, he'd make me go with him and jump in the trash can and get all ooey and gooey and, and to me, it's like, ten huevos. My dad said, 10 huevos. You're a man. You got to do this. Like, so I would jump in the trash
Did
can.
you ever ask him why? Like, why, Dad? You know how kids love to ask why.
No, I don't think I ever asked him why.
You just did what he said. Like, my dad said, and I did.
Yeah. Well, because even that, he cut grass. So we would have, since we lived in a residential area, it was a lot of apartments, and he had contracts with certain complexes.
So he was a hustler.
And we would cut grass. So every weekend, that was the first thing. Wake up, we got to go cut so-and-so and so. We got to go to Guthrie, 19th Street. We got to cut grass. And so then I started getting familiar with a lot of my friends' moms and stuff like that. My dad's a character, guys. It gets him in a lot of trouble. My mom is very kind of like insecure. She's insecure,
Territorial?
but very territorial.
She's like, this is mine.
Super territorial. But I think now, like the other day, he goes, "Oh, my bitch." But he was talking about some girl on the TV or whatever. "Oh, my lady," or my hyena. Or, somebody's at the gate. He'll mock my mom because my mom will be like, "Yeah, I know you were talking to her." So he'll be like, "Oh, the girl you said I was talking to."
So it doesn't stop even even after 43
He's like,
years.
the girl I was talking to.
He will push her buttons and trigger her and trigger her and trigger her and trigger her. And I think she's barely starting to like dismiss it, like starting to realize like,
You know what? It's been 40 years. Your ass ain't going nowhere. So just shut up.
she'll be like, "It don't even work. He can't even do that." My dad will be like, "You weren't saying that last night." You know what I'm saying? Like, and my dad is like, he's very unfiltered, very like, not in our household, not like in public, but he'll be like, "You weren't saying that last night when you were getting it from the back." like it's funny. He just says random crazy shit. But they're both characters in itself. My mom is just like she doesn't like she's not a humorous person.
She sounds like muy seria.
Very
Yeah.
serious. Very serious. And my dad is like a goofball. It depends on who and where I'm with, who I'm with, where I'm with, where I'm at. I'm very selective on who I let my guard down around.
Yeah.
So I've let my guard down around you because as soon as I met you, I felt the energy. Like I could just laugh. There's some places where you walk into a room and you feel like a dark energy, and you know that there's gonna be some gossip or something bad.
Yeah.
And then there's some places where you walk in and you're like, I know I'm gonna have a fucking good ass time, and I don't have to mention nobody. I don't talk about nobody. I don't have to tell you my personal business. Nothing. You take me
Yes.
as I am. You accept me as
It's
I
fun.
am.
We don't have to talk about other people or other people's
Exactly.
lives. We just have like
Exactly. You don't talk about your sexuality. You don't talk
yeah.
about the presidential candidates.
we have
you don't-
so many other topics to cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
You know when you walk in a room and you have to watch what you say, and when you walk in a room and you're completely like.
And so for the most
I can
part,
be myself.
I avoid those rooms.
You feel
The
the
rooms
energy, you're like,
where I have to avoid what I say and stuff like that. The snakes, they're
in the grass.
They're in the grass.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what? When you're succeeding, it's even worse because
yeah.
people they want to compete with you, but there's no competition because they don't do what you do. You don't do what I do. I don't can't do what you do. We all have our own taste. You do tattoos. I do photography. You have your own style edits. I have my own style edits. All my photographers, they all know that there's no competition. I promote them all. I love them all.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
show them that no matter what, that there's a big industry and we can all teach each other something.
You guys have your own styles, and I think what I hate the most and I don't like is to hear all this copycat stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, they copied me. They copied. There's 100 ways to do that one thing that you're saying. Like, oh, you want to start a podcast. You want to be a photographer. You want to be a videographer. Oh, they copied me. Like, there's no such thing because they're doing it their own way and their own style, and you can't be them. And
Yeah, like
there's enough for everyone to eat. You want to be
Exactly.
that. You want to be that. Go ahead.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, when you work with people naturally like that and you network and you give everybody opportunity, they bring that energy back to you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's like a new girl that I gave her opportunity to use my studio, use it hourly. And I think she's picking up clients and she's enjoying it more. I don't think she works full time, but this is her passion, and I can tell that she's grateful. And to me, that's all I want is that I respect the janitor, like that saying, I respect the janitor like
Just
I
like
would
the CEO.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I work full time now. I went back to work full time because the last year the economy has dropped a lot. But when I go to work, the first person I greet is a janitor, and I'm like, and I hype him up because you know what? When I first walked back into work, and even when I had left Stater Brothers, no one talks to the janitor. No one talks to the janitor. So guess what? I'm over there. I'm turning it up with the janitor. I'm like talking in Spanish. Everybody acts like they don't have the nopal in their forehead. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell that they just don't want to speak Spanish, or they don't want to.
Too Mexican for the Mexicans, not American enough for the Americans.
Yes, and then especially in the area that we're at, we're like, it makes sense because I'm in like I'm in kind of Grand Terrace, Colton area.
Oh, that's why.
They want to be bougie.
Yeah, they want to be bougie,
Yeah.
exactly. And
All the Grand Terrace people like.
I said what I said. I said what I said.
I said what I said, but no, it really is like that. And
All your coworkers right now.
no,
This is what he really thinks of us.
no, but see, like, okay, people, because like when you're a character, you change your personalities a lot. Like
To
you,
your audience,
yes,
know
to
your audience.
exactly. So people will say, I never knew him to be like that, or he never did that around us. Well, you don't let me express myself. You don't.
Because I ain't comfortable around you.
I ain't comfortable
And I
around
think
you.
people,
Exactly.
like, what's the right word? They misinterpret that as like not fake, but it's because there's certain people you could be it's all
Authentic
it's
with.
your authentic self all the way
Yes.
around, but you
Yes.
pick and choose who you like you were saying earlier, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
all you, but just
But the funny thing about it is, every relationship or every friendship or everybody that I interact with, I always try to leave a positive impact,
That's
not
awesome.
a negative impact. So I don't think that anybody can ever say that we had a falling out and it was not communicated, or we don't understand why we had that falling out.
I think it's important that we realize that people are not always going to remember everything we do and say, but people are always going to remember the way we make them feel.
most definitely.
And you know what? Okay, so uh, I know I'm getting kind of deep into this, but I went blind 3 months after I opened my photo studio. I cut my eye with like a poster board.
Oh my gosh.
And my retina got detached. So I explained this to you guys earlier, but my audience doesn't know this right now. So I got a scar in the front of my eye, and my cornea pulled forward, and the vessels got detached. So it causes a blurriness in my eye. And I wear my eye patch for light sensitivity. When there's a lot of light, my eye gets really dry. And also, my right eye, the good eye, I tend to lose a little bit of focus, get blurry or whatever. So it just makes it more easier for me to see. But when I went blind, people didn't understand. They didn't, because I was trying to be fully functional. I didn't want it to set me back. I almost did. I got discouraged because my editing, my pictures were like off color, yellow, blurry, off focus. But it was more, I think, a mental thing. Like, I kept thinking to myself, I can't see, I can't see, I can't see. And so I was making it that I can't see. And I was struggling with myself and crying. But it was because I couldn't see. And I was like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And my studio partner, she's been with me since I opened the studio pretty much. She's like, you can't give up. Like, no, you can't give up. This is your passion. Like, you opened the studio for a reason. And I'm like, damn, she's right. So I kept doing it, and I just kept practicing, and I started going to the gym, and I stopped like drinking. I still smoke weed, because I think that takes away all my anxiety. But at the end of the day, like, I hate feeling like crap when I drink alcohol. So I noticed that I get more depressed when I drink alcohol. So I started going to the gym, and people are like, "What do you do all day?" I go to the gym. I go to the gym. I lost like 60 pounds.
Oh yeah, I see.
I lost like 60 pounds. My mental health and my health is at the best it's ever been since I lost sight. So one thing I tell people a lot is that when I lost my vision, it was God gave me a sign. And I don't speak a lot about God. Religion is a very tough subject, and we can get into that later. But I said God wants me to focus because each and every person should have their own idea of who God is. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, yeah.
So my idea of God is not your idea of God, and I want everybody to understand that clearly. Um, my God was like, you need to focus. You open up a business, but your structure for the business is not there.
Oh.
You're kind of scrambling. You don't know where you're gonna start.
That
You don't know
opened
where
up
to
something else for
begin.
you.
It opened up something else for me
Wow.
because I've been through depression. I was married at 24 years old. I was with my ex-wife from 21 to like 31, 32. So when I got divorced, I went through a depression and I blew up. I got to like 265 pounds. I didn't care about working out. I didn't care about none of that. But I'm diabetic. And when you're diabetic, that causes everything to heal a lot slower. And I instantly said, my eye's not going to heal if I do not start working out and I start eating right. So when I had my surgery, I started eating out and working right. My eye never healed. But I never got depressed. My mental health cleared up. I was more focused. I created a routine. I have a calendar, a schedule. Everything has to be routine. And if I fall off my routine, it's easy to adjust. It takes me a little bit longer now, but because of my blindness to do things, but my purpose was to not be depressed, and I need to share that and spread that with my clients, my audience, Sam Dino, As you guys all know, we're known as a terrible city, one of the most dangerous cities in America. Blah 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 blah. It's really not that crazy if you don't put yourself in that situation. If you go look for it, you're gonna find it. But if you keep yourself in a reserved space and your own, watch who you're around and all that, you'll be good. So I just want to bring that light to my city. I want to be an
That's
advocate
awesome, yeah.
for depression, suicide, mental health, um, people with disabilities. So like for me, it's not, now I have an ability to do something that's, you guys don't. I only have one eye. You guys have two eyes. So my ability is greater because I'm doing it with one. You
And
guys
it's your
need
sense, basically. You
my
know?
and actually my senses are way clearer now.
So
I,
tell me more about where your mental state of mind was when you lost your sister and when you got divorced, because I know those are two very traumatic times in your life, and I'm just very curious like how you got through that and what advice maybe you can give to your audience and people listening of how maybe they can get through that, maybe better than you did or just how you did.
growing up, so my parents, they have a lot of siblings. My dad came from a family of like 20 kids. My mom,
Real Mexicans.
yeah, my mom had 7 siblings. So growing up, we were exposed to funerals, deaths, gang
Every
violence,
Theo we didn't know was dying.
everything.
Yeah.
So when people died and stuff like that, I never like really cried.
Because
I
it became like something we always do. We always go to funerals. Some
Yeah,
very kind
it
of
became
normalize it, huh?
yeah.
Like,
And so when my sister committed suicide, my oldest sister, she was, I don't even know how she functioned.
so which one was this sister?
My
That
sister, this was my younger sister. She was 2 years younger than me, and I have a sister that's 1 year older than me. My older sister, we each had our individual relationships with my younger sister. But my older sister, she was just out of it. Like, she couldn't even speak. She didn't want to talk to nobody, anything. Me, I was more like, I don't know where I got my strength. I don't know how or what made me carry through with my youngest sister, but I know that I understood her. When she left, I understood. I don't know why I
you
understood her.
understood like how she felt, or
You know what? I felt like, honestly, she was better off. To be honest, she was better off because, like I said, so I got shot when I was 17, right? We've been, since childhood, I had a family member that put us in situations that you shouldn't be in as a kid. So, like, we did a lot of deliveries and stuff that we shouldn't have even have as a 14-year-old, you know?
you
So
were exposed to a lot
we
of
were exposed to everything, tweakers, guns. Um, growing up with, like I told you guys, when we first moved out here, that we saw a guy got his eye poked out with the ice pick. So we grew up like we had to be tough, and if you're gonna be in a fight, you better win, because if you got your ass beat, you're gonna get your ass beat again. And even if you did get in a fight, you're still gonna get your ass beat for getting in the fight.
at home.
Yes. So everything
So
was
be scared twice.
Yes, be scared twice, exactly. And you know what? It's funny because as a kid, I would go to my aunt's house first, and I would put pillows inside my clothes. Yeah, I would be prepared. Yeah, I would put pillows in. Me and my little sister, we would put pillows inside our clothes, and we would like be prepared because we knew we had the ass whooping coming. And it's funny
What
because
ass whooping it were?
when we got the ass whooping, the pillows are all flying everywhere, flying out of our, and it's
Pillow
just like,
fight.
yeah, but you know what? That fear, can create a lot of structure for me. And when my sister passed, I know I cried, but maybe I went through um, a blind state as well because I was with my ex-wife, and maybe she gave me a little bit of strength. But I understood what my sister went through, and I just felt like she's probably gonna go
At
down
peace.
yeah. I felt like if this didn't happen to her, she probably would have went down a worse road,
Suffered more.
suffered more, homelessness. I mean, I have a best friend that I've known since like third grade. When I first moved out here, I made a friend, and I've known her forever, and she became homeless, toothless, bald, like Britney Spears, like.
Like my mom. No, I'm just kidding.
Pretty
I
much.
love you, mama.
Pretty much, and like, it's sad because she had 2 kids, and she was probably like the best out of her family. She's like, we're trying not to be like our family, we're trying to be better, and I would encourage her, and I think she got a pill addiction or something, and it just went downhill. But she was probably one of the best out of her family. All her family went to jail. They were locked up, stuff like that. She was the only one that had a regular, stable job. Mentally, she was there. And now they all do better than she is. And she's homeless in the wash. Like, she lives in the wash. And I kind of think that my sister would have been like that. And I wouldn't want that for my sister. That would have been even more embarrassing for me. I tried to protect my family from all the perception of them, who my mom is. People look at my mom like maybe she's not all there because the way her character is, she's very blunt, very straightforward, very tell it like it is, very like, it comes off very nasty, very mean, but she's not lying. She's really not
Mama
fucking
gonna
lying.
say something real.
Yeah, she's not lying, and
You don't like it, but it's the truth.
Exactly, and it gets us all in situations because
because she says stuff.
yeah,
And people don't like that.
yeah. So then we all get involved, and it's not cool. It's not fair because why is it my fault? Why should I have to pay for the things that she said or the things that she does? Why is my relationship tarnished with this individual when I got along with that individual? And it's not cool. So I tried to school her, and so, but going back to all that, I think that when I became alone, when I got divorced from my wife, I think that's when I discovered depression and being alone. So with my sister, when she passed away, I didn't feel alone. I wasn't alone. I didn't feel alone.
So do you think maybe you were like not grieving completely yet?
I don't think I was.
Until you were alone maybe and felt that emptiness that she
So
wasn't
being
really
in
there.
a relationship for 11 years with my ex-wife, we were young and she was insecure as well. And so I kind of shut everybody out. And so when I got divorced, I kind of was like a bird everywhere. I was toxic, alcoholic.
What kind of bird? A pigeon? Or
I like to see myself as a
parrot? I mean, you're going to be more specific. A hood bird?
a cock. You wanted it. You wanted it.
You wanted it! You asked for
You
it.
asked for it. So
Everyone loves a good cock here and there.
a good cock here. Until you got to tame it in cages.
I got one at home. Tame it, cage it.
But so I don't think I'm insensitive to anything. I took psychology, and I don't think.
I took psychology, and I think I'm fine.
I think I'm fine. I'm not.
I think you can tell me anything, and I can't be moved. How about that? How about them apples?
I know, right?
I'm psychologically whole.
Hey, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And me and my mom are
Shout out to moms.
Aries.
Every time he talks about his mom, I'm like, somebody's talking about me.
I know.
I was like, are we talking about
I'm like, hey, leave her alone. I'm like, leave her alone.
somebody talking about Rita? Just,
It's getting hot
Rita,
here.
your mama.
It's getting
Yeah,
hot
I
in
was
here.
like, are you my son? Because I said everything you're saying.
She's
I'm
like,
like,
I feel attacked.
yeah, I feel like my son's talking. This is what my son would say about me, guys. I'm just kidding.
No, that's funny though. No, it's we really do have a relationship like that. Like my mom thinks that I feel like everything she tells me, I'm gonna feel attacked. I'm like, Mom, just talk to me. Just like be like normal. You know what I'm saying?
We can't.
But
Our normal is crazy to everybody. So wait, you got divorced from your wife,
yeah.
and then you realized like you're alone and you're basically grieving now.
Now I'm grieving.
And then
Everything.
is that when you're like eating?
Yeah.
And you're
And
like,
thinking?
okay, like emotional eating.
How long did that
Eating,
last?
sleeping all day, like 6 years.
6 years? Wow. What
6 years.
snapped?
Yeah, like what can you tell somebody that's listening right now that maybe is sitting in that depression and you don't want them to sit in that depression as long as you?
Yeah.
What helped you get out of that?
Books, whatever you
So,
remember, yeah.
so the way I kind of fought it was I started looking at techniques on how to beat depression, and it was mostly diet and lighting. Lighting. So you have to put yourself in the sun. You have to put yourself in bright places. If you sit in a dark place and gloomy, you get too comfortable, and you get too comfortable too long. And I think that nobody understood me, and I'm gonna tell you guys, and I'm gonna tell it now, and I'm gonna say it now. For the longest time after I left my wife, I didn't date. I dated maybe a few girls, but I wasn't really into that. I was more into guys. So this is where it gets deep, because this is where my mom kind of plays a role.
Wait, hold up. Before you go on to that, I want to know, when did you know in your 10-year marriage? Because I was married for 10 years at one point in my life, and I just want to know, when did you know?
Because I kind of always felt, since I guess I was a dress up, like when I was a kid, I used to like to dress up.
Oh, that's why you like drama, no?
I used to like to play
so
with my
guys
sisters.
that like drama.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I hate
Red
drama.
flag, red flag.
I'm in drama class.
No,
But
so
you know
like,
what?
I mean, you were attracted to your wife. I mean,
Yeah,
would you say
I'm
that?
attracted to beautiful people and beautiful souls.
Oh, okay.
So you would say
So-
you're bi.
I hate to say that because I don't really get along with girls.
You don't lean towards women
Man,
anymore.
oh, I'm kind of like a dude. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah, homie.
Yeah, that's why he likes you.
You know, like I don't get along with them because I hate women these days. They're like, they feel so entitled. They want you to drop everything for them. Like I feel like they
No, we want you to
expect
pick it
their
up.
expectations are too.
Do you feel like
much.
your moms or your parents, because we're Mexican, right? Do you feel like they don't accept gays? So do you feel like that played a part in why you went straight to be with a woman, because this is what you thought was the right thing to do?
Because I'm Catholic.
Yeah,
I'm
because you
Catholic
were
and I
raised
didn't
with a
want-
mother and a father and a
Yeah.
male and a female in the home, and you thought like, hey, this is what's right and this is what they want to see and this is what
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, and I was attracted to my wife, and she was beautiful, and we got along great. But I always had that curiosity in the back of my head. You know what I'm saying? And
While you were with her, I'm just nosy.
yeah, while I was with her. So like while I was with her, I used to try to have her like, I used to just try to have her explore her sexuality too. I was like, let's do this, let's try this, let's do that, and she was so prude. She was so like, no.
So if guys want to try butt stuff, that means they like. Does that mean that's a clue? Keep it real.
Honestly, I don't think
Because
so.
we're in 2024, and I hear these stories a lot more.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it real.
I'm gonna keep it
I
real.
just wanna
I'm gonna keep it
know,
100.
what's the signs? Ask me for a friend.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you. So I think, to be honest, I think if my wife was more open to exploring her sexuality, I probably would have still been with her.
Oh, okay.
And I could probably still,
Like polygamy, or
I still love her. You know
What
what
do
I'm
you
saying?
mean?
Like, no, I would explore. Like, let's do some freaky, crazy shit.
Oh, okay.
Like, let's get a deal.
So do you think your attraction to men is more on a sexual level?
No, I think it's just like,
Or do you see yourself having
No.
a life with a man?
I don't know.
Like getting married and having a kid?
I don't think so.
So then it's a sexual attraction.
It's just a sexual thing, I think.
Like we're both freaky.
Isn't that what we think of it?
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
I think it's just like, like I'm so busy. I work full time. I do my photography, and you don't have to have a connection. And it's just like, bam, bam, let's go.
It's like platonic. It's very platonic, right?
Yeah. And so it's not like, I don't think that my sexuality, like what I do, should matter to my parents, and my freakiness should matter to them. Because I hate to say that I'm bi, but I do get attracted to certain females sometimes.
Yeah. So then it's safe to say.
It's safe to say, yeah, but see, if I say I'm bi right now, like all the guys are watching right now, they're like,
Hell no!
no.
You told me. You
I can't
only
trust you around
want
that
me.
bitch. That bitch. Because gays are toxic. They're motherfucking
told
toxic.
me
you
you
toxic
only
too.
like
Yes,
me,
guys, they're
papi.
toxic. They're fucking toxic.
You lied, Jesus. You lied.
But I'm gonna say it right now. Like,
You freaking lied to me, Jesus.
but
lied,
men are
Tutu.
toxic and they're crazy.
So are women.
Yeah. So to me,
Pick your toxic.
exactly. I honestly, I like being alone.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. It's just.
I want to be the boss.
I think since you were in a well, this is my opinion. I
wanna
don't
be
know
the boss.
psychology that much, but I think because I kind of went through this a little bit, being in a relationship when you're young, because I was 16, married till I was 26 too. So it was like that phase in your life is when you're supposed to be curious and promiscuous and exploring. And because we were in a relationship, in a marriage, and monogamy, it's kind of like prison. It was like not a prison. Don't please, ex-wife, don't hate me.
I know, right?
It was kind of like
I was a wife, man.
we're imprisoned. You know what I mean? Like we're not like you said. You felt like a bird that was free after. So we're like caged. And then I
Well,
think
at some point you don't understand each other, and you're trying to figure out why don't we understand each other?
because you didn't give each other that time
Yeah.
I think
to
it's because,
explore.
like she said, young too.
And so me not wanting to say anything, I just said, you know what? We're not getting along.
How many kids did you have with her?
2.
Oh, okay. So you guys were 2 years, 10 years.
Yeah, I have a
2 kids,
15-year-old.
sorry.
I have a
2 kids, 10
15-year-old
years.
and I have a 13-year-old.
Okay.
But me and her split up when my 13-year-old turned 1.
Oh wow,
Okay.
it's been a while.
Yeah. So
How's your relationship with her?
great,
Oh, that's
amazing,
great.
and she knows.
And that's good.
I told her, and it made sense.
Oh.
It made a lot of sense.
And it's
to her.
cool that she accepts you, man, because a lot of the times we don't even get that from our own family. So
Yeah.
I think that that's awesome because you're sharing other lives with her and you have to raise kids with her.
Yeah, well,
How are your kids? Are they accepting? Do they know?
that my kids just don't want it to get to their school.
Doesn't want
They
to
don't
affect them.
They don't want it to affect them
Yeah.
because they are who they are individually.
Right.
Who I am does not affect them, and like I
You
said,
shouldn't, yeah.
I don't publicly display myself as I'm gay, I'm bisexual, None of
I'm
that.
gonna be real. I did not know.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a clue.
That's
swear.
why.
Right now.
Yeah, I was like, wait, cut. Give me a chance to soak this in.
But you know
Why
what?
didn't tell me this part was
But
coming?
you know what? I have to okay. So I have a model, and she's a friend. And sorry if you hear this, you probably know who I'm talking about. But her man is always like, "Oh, I know you want to take a picture with her. Oh, my girl wants to take a picture with you. She's so in love with you." Da 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 da. And I'm like, "Hey, bro,
they
like,
want you.
but he's
They.
cool.
They.
He's cool, right?" So
You
like,
heard me. Keyword.
no, but
Oh,
see,
he said no.
no. Listen. So I told
Made him
him,
a little uneasy.
I said, "Hey, bro, like, I don't think your lady knows yet, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, just so, because every time I see you, you make a comment about me and your girl, and then
I think you're picturing it every time you see it.
yeah, it gets deeper than that.
Yeah.
So it gets deeper into like messaging, commenting, stuff like that.
Oh.
But I never felt attacked. I just felt like, oh, that was random. Oh, that was weird. So to me, to make him more secure, I said, hey, bro, I don't even like girls. I don't even go that way, bro. Like, your girl wouldn't turn me on.
So what did he say?
And he's like,
So has this been an invite or was this one of those jealous?
no.
little,
And then ever
it was
since
one of those
then,
jealous little
I
comments
saw them
he was
twice,
making?
and they come and they kick it with me at my booth,
Oh,
and
got more comfortable.
they're more comfortable.
Oh,
and I think it gives her it makes it easier for her too.
Confident to open up.
Yeah, she doesn't have to feel like when she comes and does her private sessions, like it's an issue. You could trust me. And when I do boudoir too, when I do boudoir, like lingerie shoots, I tell the girls, hey, look, like I don't want you to feel uncomfortable because I'm not gonna try to make a move on you. I'm not gonna try to like.
Which all these photographers do.
Let's talk about that. In your
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, and they do.
All these photographers
They do, and-
especially the ones that are like, don't fuck the models, but you try to fuck all of them.
But
Stop
listen,
it.
that's an issue too, though, because
is.
now no one comes to me because they won't fuck with me because I won't fuck them.
Oh, now it's the other way around.
Oh.
Yeah, because
The
I don't
tables
give
have
them.
turned.
I don't give them free work. They don't come to me. Cool, fuck it. I don't care.
Wow.
I don't need your promotion. I got this on my own.
Okay, I see what you mean.
I got this on my own. So there's a lot of girls.
Yeah, a
that
lot of
don't-
girls
they
in the
don't fuck with
industry
me.
are like, yeah,
That's
I'll
another
suck
too.
a little, fuck a little for some
And why do you
freak ass
think?
homes.
Why do you think me and you we're hella cool. We're cool because it doesn't have to have
It's on
none
a
of that.
respect level.
It's on a
It doesn't have
respect
to
level,
go based
exactly.
off sexuality.
Yes.
And what are we gonna get out of this? And what do we benefit sexually if I mess with you? If I take your
it was
picture?
And
like
you
just a
should
general,
see,
yeah.
I
like,
can't stand photographers like that. Like,
and it's crazy
if
because
you ain't giving me play, I ain't gonna give you your photos.
and
like,
these girls, I can't put them on my close friends. I have to, because if I want to post a shirtless picture, oh man. Bro, I have to take all these girls off my
They're
close
like, he
friends.
has a close friends? He has
Yeah, so I don't know if you noticed, but I got like more discreet recently. It was getting obsessive. People like girls following me.
Why doesn't he want me?
Yeah, shit like that, and they don't understand why I won't fuck with them. Because I don't like, but I don't want to tell. Why do I have to tell anybody what I
Well, now
like?
they found out.
before they start stalking
Now you
you.
know if you were wondering
Look at
before.
the
If
now
you
you
were
know.
stalking him a
Let
few
him know.
months ago, just know it ain't you, ho.
Isn't this camera facing you?
You're still
Right here.
beautiful.
Right here, this one's facing you.
I still think you're beautiful.
Ah.
It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, you ain't got that thing.
Fellas. I'm just kidding.
Where you at? Your man's might be the one though, girl.
Yo, man.
Hey, on the real though.
Yeah, on the
Watch
real.
your man.
This 2024, they low key. So I'm asking questions.
They all like a little butt play.
A little butt hair, a little some butt things.
It's beautiful.
So,
Get really strange for a little bit of change.
so I don't know. This whole interview might have started off with like, why is he only talking about this stuff? But I think that makes more sense. And I wanted to save that for last so people could listen to why I had to say all these stories because no one ever really understood me. And I think I still shelter myself and I still shut myself out from people because I'm still afraid to open up.
So is this your first time?
Oh, publicly, yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I love you and I trust you, and I know that I think that we would have a friendship for a very, very long time. And I think you're one of the first people that I opened up to, probably.
Wow, yeah.
When I first met you and you met somebody when I had a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I feel like with you, I've been very open. So you'd be the perfect person to do this interview with.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, let me give me a hug.
Yeah, no, and I want it to be unfiltered. I don't want it to be boring.
Yeah.
But
Comfortable.
but at the end of the day, that's what it is. At the end of the day, is I'm always going to be misunderstood because I want to have a certain part of my life to be private. I feel like I'm always in public, but I want to have my own public life too.
So
private life.
Tell people and tell the audience, besides battling depression because you lost your sister to suicide, and besides battling depression due to a divorce, from your 10-year marriage, you also had a lot of depression or feelings going on when it came to coming out about who you really were, right?
So it kept me sheltered and bottled up and distant. Just because I knew that no one would understand.
But tell us how you broke through of all those things. Like you isolated yourself because of all these things, but what made you come out to the world and be like, you know what, this is who I am and I'm happy?
When I opened up my business, like I said, I went blind 3 months after. When I went blind, nobody understood. And I said, this is the same shit.
Oh.
It's the same shit. If I come out or if I don't come out, it's the same shit. I'm blind, but people don't understand that. They don't see it because
you still have your eye, you look fine.
Yeah, I don't like to wear my eye patch because I don't like to be questioned. Same thing about talking about my sexuality. I don't like to be questioned. Why should you know what role I play? How?
Top or bottom?
DM me and find out. I'm just kidding.
DM
Follow
and
find
find
this.
out.
Follow Divine Connection
Podcast.
Yeah, and we're
you'll
gonna add a
find
bonus
out.
clip. Okay, subscribe, and then maybe we'll do a
you might find out
Q&A.
top or bottom. Top or bottom. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So yeah, I feel like when I went blind, nobody understood me, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Nobody's paying my bills. Nobody cares if I eat. Nobody cares if I commit suicide. So I did think about committing suicide.
Wow.
I did. I didn't know
What stopped
how.
you?
What stopped me was So you asked me what made me think about starting my business. My sister died in March 21st. And every time that season comes in March, I go into like a dark
Depression.
depression. And that day I was crying. I was crying and crying in my backyard. And I was just like, I think I took shrooms that day. And I probably took too
Oh,
much.
you felt it a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I was working out and I was sweating and I was in the sun. And I felt like a bright beam shine down on me. And I was just crying and crying and crying. And I felt the sun intensely, intensely. And I just like felt like my sister was like, don't give up. Like, don't give up. So I went through like our pictures. I went to her room and I went through my pictures and I found all our mall pictures. And I was like, you know what? I should probably start taking these old school pictures. You know what I'm saying?
That's how it,
But give it a reason and a purpose.
wow,
And
that's
it's kind of
beautiful.
like bring,
Memorabilia for your sister.
yeah, back to my
That's
sister.
beautiful.
And let's say her name.
Her name is Cecilia. Cecilia Avalos, but she went by Sassy. A lot of people knew her by Sassy. The reason why is because Ceci is short for Cecilia. But all my American amigos, they used to call her Sassy because they, not everybody grew up Mexican household, so they couldn't say Ceci with the.
So you like to do memorabilia photos?
I like to do portrait style photography. Portrait style, which means it's close up. I don't like to do the sceneries. Everybody likes that. I do it, but my thing is the old school photos. It brings you up close and personal. It captures the old school photos. They have like a filter where it like kind of glams you, the lighting and all that. And every time I took pictures with her, I felt confident. I felt happy. I just remember like I always felt like I love taking pictures. But I think that goes back to me being feminine, being growing up with sisters that always went to the mall to take pictures.
You enjoyed girl things too.
I enjoyed girl things. Yeah, exactly. And they would go get pedicures. I was like, I want to go get a pedicure, but I couldn't say that. I got my ass beat for fucking putting lotion on.
What?
My dad would catch
It
me putting
depends how
lotion
you did it. Now, I'm just kidding.
on. No,
He
I
was
was
like,
playing with
did
my
you start?
butthole.
Did you start from your toes or how'd you do it?
You're all like,
Yeah. 'Cause if you started from your toes and went like this, your dad gonna get pissed.
I can see why he probably beat your ass.
Yeah, I can see why he would be. Well,
that's why I like it rough. Just kidding. I could take anything. Just kidding. Oh, I didn't mean that literally.
Don't DM him now. Don't DM him now.
This is for the bonus.
For the bonus clip. Stay
Bonus
tuned.
clips, you gotta
Stay
pay for
tuned.
those.
And yeah, so that's why my mom threw the drink at me last year at Thanksgiving. So I don't know. We talked about that on the podcast, but my mom's a very difficult person, and so that year she had anger towards me. I had just came out to her. I told her, like, hey mom, I want to tell you, be open with everybody. My dad was hella cool about it. My dad and my brother were really cool about it. They still joke to this day.
What made you want to come out finally?
I just wanted to be free. And I felt like I was so misunderstood. And when I went blind, like I said, I was still misunderstood. And so, like, no one was going to understand me no matter what.
So you might as well just tell people who you are, right?
This is me. I have I do everything for myself. This is my studio. I feel like I'm growing. And there's something that is missing. And that's me coming out to say, like, I don't even want to come out. To be honest, why come out? I don't feel like I have to. Just naturally let it take place. I came out on your guys' show because I want it to be natural. I want you guys to understand. But it's not a big deal to me to say, hey, look, I'm coming out. It's not a big deal. It's either like people are going to be like, oh, I always thought so, or they say the glass door is clear in the closet or whatever, like people, my sister I kind of already thought, I kind of already knew.
Is that what was told to you? So when you came out, did you come out to your whole family at the same time, or was it some people first and then your mom
It was some
last?
people first. My mom found out through the grapevine. My mom, I didn't tell her personally. When she found out, she went to the hospital. So she was in the hospital for like 2 days. I think she had an anxiety attack. And then she just stopped talking to me completely, just ignored me. And then little by little, we started having a conversation. And I was like, Mom, like, what's wrong? I know you heard, da da da. And I think my dad. And she's like,
How did your dad treat you?
my dad, when I told him, my dad is a character. He's funny. He goes, "Hi, way." And I was like, is that like, what's that supposed to mean? He's like, look, as long as you're happy and as long as you're not depressed, because he goes, every time I see you, you always seem like sad. He goes, as long as you're happy and you feel free, he goes, I don't care what you do. He goes, because if you're almost 40 years old, all these years you haven't shown me that. I don't know you like that. So what does it matter what you do in private? He goes, just don't bring it. No mamadas y joteadas around the family, and we're good. And I'm like, okay, I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? I can respect that.
And
Like,
it's because of their religious beliefs.
yeah.
What would you tell somebody that's from the hood that wants to come out? And I mean, obviously it was hard for you, you know what I mean? What advice would you give somebody right now that's probably maybe even a youngster wanting, but they have the same
Their mom's probably crazy and their dad's, real Mexican, and that's very common in our culture.
Yeah.
I think that no matter what, how old you are, I think that you should express yourself at the moment that you feel it. I think,
Do you wish you would have did it sooner? Jesus?
yeah, I do. Not before my kids.
Did it make you feel like a weight was lifted off your shoulder?
Yeah, yeah, it really
How does your
did.
dad say you are now? Do you see more?
No, they joke now.
No, but you're free? Yeah.
I'm free.
Yeah.
And just like how your dad said, I think that's very important because us as parents, what we tend to not look at is our children's happiness. So if your dad's saying, hey, I'm looking at you, you're 40 years old and I haven't seen you happy, that's a big deal because one thing that us as parents, and I know I can speak for all of us that are parents here, we want to look at our kids every day and we want to see them happy, whether it's for a piece of gum or over a girl or a boy, whatever it is, we want to see them happy. And when we don't, we notice those things. And I think it takes a toll on us too as parents that we can't even be fully happy with ourselves because we're wondering in the back of our mind, if it's something that maybe we did wrong. Why are they so depressed? Or
You know what? I think that we're all healing. We're all healing now.
yeah.
I think that me doing that kind of like humbled my mom a little bit because even yesterday we were joking and around her and I told her, so somebody's baby daddy hit me up. And my mom, she got invested. My mom loves cheese. She loves cheese.
She was like, who, me?
She's like, what? Who? And then, well, what was he saying? So let me tell you guys a little secret.
Quiere chupar a mi hijo.
Let me tell you guys a little secret. When I was in high school, when I was like 17 years old, my mom, she was still young, she was probably like 32, 33.
Oh, wow.
She used to take me to Rocky Liquor on the corner of Sterling and Highland, and she'd tell me to go buy some pornos. Yeah, for her and my dad, So I kind of like, me and her, she used to make my costumes for all my plays. We've had a relationship.
Yeah, it's your mom. Yeah.
She doesn't understand that she supported me in all that. And all my feminine stuff that I did when I was a kid. She didn't realize that whole time when I was a kid, she supported me. She went to the plays. She was proud of me. Till the moment that I said it. Till the moment that I said specifically, I like guys.
Oh.
Which you were almost 40 already.
Yeah, her whole demeanor changed. She fucking treated me like crap. She's like, you gay ass bitch. I don't like that shit. You fucking faggot. She let me have it. She threw a drink in my face. I threw one back. Like, tables were flipped. My nephew jumped over the table. My son got up. It was very, 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 very intense. And, but I felt so liberated. I was happy when she was crying and screaming. And I was like, see that crazy bitch? See that crazy bitch? What did I do? Now you guys, I said, Mom, you wanted to humiliate me? You thought that, your words are going to hurt me? Your words don't hurt me. I'm used to all that shit. I said, but you throwing that drink at me, you're trying to humiliate me, and you didn't think I was going to throw one back. And then I said, and look at your reaction. She was saying, I never do nothing to you. I leave you alone. I don't bother you. Da, 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 da. But the whole night she was picking on me. And so I said, all I did was try to calm you down. You threw a drink at me and said, shut the fuck up, faggot. Don't tell me what the fuck to do. And everything blew up at that moment. And she started screaming and jumping up. And that's when I realized, like, everybody gets to see her real character, who she really is, how she was treating me, and then how she plays the role of victim. And I just felt good. I felt happy, and I was excited. I was just so
We're all
happy.
showing our authentic self
Like,
today.
I stood up. It was like I finally stood up to King Koopa. Like I finally got to the level to where I don't need respect from nobody anymore.
And I think that's very important to point that out, because a lot of moms, we tend to forget, and I'll speak for myself. Again, how I was saying that your mom reminds me of myself. I think that we tend to forget that we put a lot of weight on our kids, and especially with our expectations. And I think that if your mom didn't have these certain expectations, you probably would have came out sooner and would have felt more free.
I didn't start experimenting sexually till like I was 7. I lost my virginity when I was 17. So with the girl, and
Be more specific.
He said,
and I don't think at like 12 or 13 maybe you shouldn't come out. But the moment that you have a voice and you're kind of like, you know, you're doing good in school, you have good grades, like I think that as long as you're good in your head and you're doing good, I think that you should be confident in yourself to express yourself, because then you're leading people on, you're confusing people. People think that they have opportunity when they don't. And that's what I'm struggling right now with social media. My clients, the girls, they might think that maybe they might feel some type of way because I don't give them the reaction that they want. And then they mix that emotion with booking me or coming to me. And I'm like, fuck, like, should I just come out? Should I not? But then when they come with their husbands and stuff, their husbands are all mad and mean, and how the fuck you know this guy? And
that's the first question.
And so my main thing is always to make the guy, break him down, make him comfortable, and not in a flirty way, nothing like that. I always direct my attention to him. I ask, like, I give him the full, like, let him run the house. So if this is a photo shoot, I place him first.
Comfortable,
you know?
just, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of give him his place. So let him know that you're in charge. You know what I'm saying? You're the man. We're doing this photo shoot around you. You know what I'm saying? And I think it builds their confidence too, and they let their guard down a little bit.
And I think every photographer right now should be listening, because those are very important factors.
Yeah, and
when running a business.
The girls, they breathe and they're like, oh, my man feels comfortable. Wow.
Now they can be themselves and really pose.
Yes, yeah, and I think it's really, really important. So that's one of my biggest things is I need to be able to express that. But I think that individually, I don't have to do it and go out and find 10,000 people to say, hey, I like dick. You know what I'm saying? Like
10,000 people are gonna watch.
But when I sense the energy, when I sense the energy,
you just
did. When I sense the energy and stuff like that, I don't want that to be a factor. You know. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to be a factor when I meet somebody. Don't look at me like that. It's not about that. And people make sex about everything.
So coming out and dealing with your depression and your sister passing, you know, your divorce, everything, all as a whole, in your whole life, you know, your mom, your parents being, you know, hard on you and stuff. How you dealt with that all alone, or were there any type of resources that you did along the way? Like you said, you mentioned psychology. Is that a class that you took?
I took on behavioral sciences. I took about maybe 5 courses in behavioral sciences. So I went to Cal State for 3.5 years, and then I got into management at Stater Brothers. And I think the management created structure because I was a manager for 16 years. So I was always running the team, and I always liked being in charge. And then psychology, I kind of just like, I always felt like emotional. I always felt bad for people. I always felt a connection with people. So I wanted to be able to separate all that and be a child counselor, because I think if my sister would have had help, she would still be here today. My sister went through some stuff as a younger kid with a family member, and I really didn't want to talk about that, but that
She never
family,
healed from it.
she never healed from it, and I think that's why she hated guys.
So you basically healed yourself, and you like self was everything was like self
So to
therapy
me,
for
is
you,
is
right?
self therapy, but I studied a reason for everything. Why my sister committed suicide? Why my mom is the way she is? Why my dad is the way she is? I like to
And you
analyze.
understood them more after that,
Yeah,
right? You
I
didn't
do.
really hold resentment towards your parents anymore because now you
You
understood.
know what? Every situation that I get into with somebody, if somebody acts a certain type of way with me, I dismiss them by trying to figure out, oh, they're going through something because of
Yeah, and
this.
that's typically
You
what
don't
it
take
always
it
is.
I
personal. You
don't
just
take it
look at it like
personal.
a projection of
I
Yeah.
how they're feeling inside,
yeah.
probably, or how they look at life,
I don't know what they went through right before they went through the situation,
or what
but
kind of people they've experienced,
yeah,
and why they feel the way they feel.
yeah. So I try to either crack a joke, make somebody laugh, or I snap. And it's like when I snap, it's kind of like my mom comes out, you know. And I don't really like to be that, and I can be that. And I think that I've done it maybe twice inside my studio, where I had to like ask somebody to leave, or oh no, you ain't running shit here. Like this is my safe place.
Yeah.
Like the energy here is protected. You know what I'm saying? Like fuck that. Don't
So,
come.
so I think some advice maybe you can give people is to create their own safe space and do their own research on why
Yeah,
why
I
they
think I think it's
are
important.
dealing with deep feelings.
I think it's important to find the root of your problem. Find the root of your problem, and um, studies. I can't say for a fact, but studies say that when you eat healthy and you work out consistently, it's not only your health that's improving, your mental health. You're not you're not foggy. And since I
Yeah.
went blind, I started going to the gym twice a day. I started doing 75 challenge. I started doing fasting. I started reading books. I started listening to. I can't being blind. My like I said, my senses are really out of whack. So I started listening to podcasts like self help podcasts, how to grow rich, all that crazy stuff. Um, there was a recent one that I did. It was like I don't know, it was like 5 hours long, but it was like the mountain is you, and
Was
it's a
it like a
podcast.
meditation? Oh, it's a
It's a
podcast.
Is it on
podcast.
YouTube?
It's on Spotify. It's
Spotify.
called The
Okay.
Mountain Is You, and it literally goes by step by step by step, 5 different steps of like what's holding you back, and it's interpersonal, how to let go, not no attachments, certain things. But I really got into that when I went blind, and I didn't go depressed. I didn't get depressed. I said this time I'm not gonna go with the depression. I gotta keep focused. I gotta. So as soon as I went blind, like maybe I was probably down for like 3 months, but I started going to the gym twice a month. I invested myself into my studio full time. I kept myself busy, and
Productive and positive things. Yeah.
productive and positive. And you know what? She taught me a lot too. Pebbles taught me a lot too, because she was teaching me um, like her books that she reads, or certain frequencies, or what was that guy there was a guy that we both listened to on a podcast.
Oh, was it Neville Goddard?
No, he's an older guy.
Alan
Alan
Watts.
Watts.
Uh-huh.
So me and her started talking about Alan Watts, and Alan Watts, I look at him as inspiration, because when I told her I want to do a podcast, I want to bring back some of that stuff, but in a more modern way.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Because
Yeah.
it's so boring.
Yeah.
It is so boring.
We'll do it our own
And
way.
I'll do like I'll speed it up on Spotify like 1.5, or because it's so slow. But I just want to help people to not feel like how I did, because I know how it feels, and I know how it feels to be alone. And I'm still alone. I still don't have somebody to go watch Beetlejuice with, or Wicked and all
But
that.
you found other ways.
But I find other ways to be happy, and I don't think maybe I might come off to bitter to my family, but I'm not. I'm a very happy person.
Hey,
Okay.
as we're closing up, what is the last thing that you want, or the last message that you want to give to the audience, Jesus?
I just want everybody to know that, like, if you're in a dark place, figure out why you're in that dark place, and get out of the dark place physically. Because if you're in a dark place, it's only gonna intensify your feelings and your emotions already. But if you go out into the sun and you get to experience the natural stuff, all that stuff will make you feel better. And depression is due to being bottled up and not being able to express yourself and no one understanding you. But the moment that you get out, you start expressing yourself because you're exposing yourself to nature, to other human beings, other people. Instead of shutting yourself out, express yourself. Find something, an art or something that will take away from being in that thought, because your thought is your biggest, your thoughts are your biggest
Influence?
yeah, your biggest influence. They hold you back so much. Your thoughts will keep you in a place for a long time. But just keep growing, keep improving. Don't let nobody tell you you're changing, because you're supposed to change. You're supposed to evolve into something greater every day. You should always evolve, no matter what. You're not fake. You're not changing. Evolve and change and be better. That's it.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Jesus. You shared
you.
so much with
I
us
know.
today.
Yeah.
We appreciate you so much for being so open
thank
and
you.
raw with the audience, and we really enjoyed your
Tell
interview.
them where they can reach you for some photos.
Yeah, let them know where to get those fire photos.
So make sure to follow my Instagram page. It's 99 INDA 909 underscore photography. Again, 99 in the 909 underscore photography.
all the local locas.
The locals.
I specialize in old school photos. So if you like the old school heart backdrops, hit me up. Mention this podcast and I'll give
And
you
don't
$20
forget, he
off.
does do his memorabilia photos in memory of his sister Cecilia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And stay tuned for our next episode of Divine Connections podcast. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.